Hey, hi everyone. Good evening. Good evening to all. Hello, Roshni. Hello, Janvi. Hi, Deepak. Am I audible and visible clearly, guys? Just let me all know the chat real quick, please. Hi, Vaibhav. Guys, am I audible and visible to you all? Can you all hear me? I can see 333, almost 450 people are have joined us, and hope to see more people to join. Till then, we will do some chit chat in the chat. Hi. Thank you for sending the red heart. Hello, audible? Okay. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for the confirmation. So, this bootcamp is from the for beginner and as well the developers who want to revise it. So anyone can join this session. So do not worry about that thing. So guys, let me introduce you all about myself. My name is Anam Khan. I'm one of the team member at Let's Upgrade, and I'm here just to give you a small demo of how to mark your attendance and let you all know about this bootcamp. We are starting with 3 days Python bootcamp in which we will teach you from very basics from the fundamentals of programming to will build a small project so that you can add it in your resume. Hi, Akbar. So, yeah, anything else you want to know, you can ask us in the chat, and also let me know from where you people are joining and what you people are looking forward. So, attendance done. Okay. So, for other people who are new to this channel and who do not know about the attendance part, let me give a small demo to them. So just wait for 5 minutes. We have already marked your attendance, and I will give a quick demo to them. So guys, just give me a minute. I will share my screen, and I hope you can see my screen as well. Just give me a heads up, thumbs up in the chat if you all can see my screen. If it is shared and visible to you all. Certificate कैसे मिलेगा? Certificate will be available on day 3 to download when the program will end. After the session on day 3, you will get the certificate to download from the same attendance page where you mark the attendance. On the same page, the certificate will get unlocked and you will be able to generate it. So do not worry about the certificate part, and it is free, no charge, nothing you have to pay for it. It's a free 3 days Python bootcamp. So yeah, guys, here in the description, okay, thank you guys for the thumbs up. So here in the description box, here you can see for registration, attendance, Elicoin certificate, we have one link. We call it as a one link. As you can find everything at one place, you can enroll for the program, mark your attendance, get the certificate, and add it in your resume. So yeah, that's why we call it as a one link. So when you come to this page, first of all, you need to mark your enroll for the program if you haven't. I have already enrolled, so it's not asking me to enroll now. But when you scroll down the page, here below the day one title, you can see mark attendance toggle. Click on this. Will get to see on a rating scale on a 1 to 10. Rate it according to yourself. You can rate mark your attendance after the session also. So you give a honest rating and the feedback here, and you can mark your attendance anytime within this 3 days of bootcamp. So do not worry to mark that you need to mark on the 6:30 itself. So you can mark anytime and give the rating according to what you learned and what you felt in the session. So here is the feedback option. Here you can give nothing. For I'm giving nothing, and you can put anything according to yourself. You like something, you dislike something, you can put it here freely and mark your attendance, then submit it. Here you can see the progress. This line has increased. It will increase day by day. It is a progress bar. It will increase day by day as you mark your attendance, and when it will get 100% on day 3, you will get to download the certificate. Post session, you will be able to download your certificate. And also, guys, we have this communities, Discord and WhatsApp. You can join us there to get regular updates, invites, and upcoming sessions, upcoming bootcamps, update and everything. We share it there, so you can join it. And also we have this student ambassador program. It is a 1 month program. It is a free program, no cost, nothing you have to pay. Just apply for it. You will be ambassador for the Let's Upgrade for the next 1 month, and you can represent Let's Upgrade in your college, and where in the events wherever you go. So, and you also get exciting prizes in this bootcamp. You get free swags, you get gold, silver, based on the target you achieve. You get those swags. You can see here gold, silver, bronze. So it will be explained to you when you enroll for this program. And also we distribute, like, if you, there are certain targets that you have to achieve, and when you achieve it, you will get to win these prizes. And also Amazon coupons till worth 10,000, 20,000, whatever it may be, according to the things. And you can apply for it. The next batch will start from 1st of Feb. If anyone is interested, please make sure that you're applying for this ambassador program. And also guys, you have one documentation calling as all-in-one documentation. We call it as all-in-one documentation. You can see the link in the description box, where we store everything. You can find everything in this one document. So for the attendance, for session links, and also the notes which we provide, you can find all the things in this all-in-one documentation. Even if sir shares any of the document with you, any of the PPT with you, we will add the link here in this one doc. So do not worry about anything. The resources will be saved here at one place. And guys, rather than it, if you have any queries, anything to ask, please feel free to ask in the chat. The moderators are there, the trainer is there, who will be there with you during the 3 days of bootcamp, and will help you to sort out the issues, the doubts, and everything. How to put the attendance, you can just rewind the video and get to know how to mark. I have explained it just. सर्टिफिकेट का वैल्यू है क्या, ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन ऐड इट इन योर रेज्यूमे, and it will showcase like, हाँ, you know Python, you have completed the Python boot camp, you know about it. Session time is 6:30 to 8, and it is a 3 days boot camp. So every on day 2, day 3 will start by 6:30. So make sure to join us at the 6:30 sharp. हो गया, we got it. Okay, thank you Josh for your confirmation. So I think it's the time to call the trainer. The trainer is Zahir sir. He will be there with you, who will be teaching you the Python, and hope you enjoy the time with him. You get to know from start to end. 1 second guys. So hi sir, good evening. Hello Zahir sir.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes sir,
Am I
you're
audible?
audible.
Yeah,
Yes sir,
shall we
you're
start
audible.
then? Shall we start?
Yes, you can start with the session.
Yeah,
So I'll take a leave, and if anything is needed, you can call us, and we are there in the chat also. Okay.
thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Amma.
you
Yeah.
guys. So I'll leave. Bye everyone.
Yeah. So, good evening, all of you. Can I have your, if anything goes wrong, you can just comment in the comment section. If you have any queries, please see that you put in the comment section. Yeah, so let me share the screen first. So, yeah, hope you are able to see the screen. Okay, so let us start. Once again, I welcome all of you for this 3 days boot camp. And let me tell you, it is just a start for learning Python. 3 days, may no one can teach you, of course, the whole thing, but probably it is an attempt to start with the course. Okay, so this is day one's content, what we are going to discuss throughout this 1.5 hour. And probably we are going to discuss about the introduction of the Python, how how it got invented, and how the things are popular in Python, why we are using Python, and how to install this Python. Probably some of you might be knowing this. Okay, so as a basic, we are going to learn with this. Then we'll be moving for the basics of Python, wherein we'll be understanding about the syntax and the indentation, the variables and data types, basic operations, and then we'll be moving at the last phase for the control structures, wherein we are going to learn about the basic control structure of this Python. So let us start with this particular thing. Now let me tell you, interchangeably I will be using the presentation and my, what I can say, editor. Fine. So probably you have to cope up with this thing. Now, anything if you want to ask, you can put in chat. Once again, I'm just telling you that. So you are with me actually, okay? Because you can see me, but I'm not able to see you all. But I hope you are there in the meeting. So let us start. So probably what is Python? So here, if I talk about this Python, it is one of the high level languages. Okay, let me tell you what is Python here. So I'll be using Notepad and say like I'll be using my presentation and my IDEA. Okay, now for this, already I have installed Python IDEA. I will tell you how you're going to install it. So today I will show you how you're going to install it, and then you can install it as when I show you, so that you are ready with the things to do the programming. Okay, so yeah, what is Python? So probably if I define Python, it's a high level programming language. Okay, now I don't know how many people have aware of this particular keyword, high level. Why do we call it as high level? Okay, now there are several reasons as far as the high level language is concerned. Earlier to this, we had several languages, like we have the machine language, which works with 0 and 1. Okay, then we had our assembly language, which works with the mnemonics. Probably this mnemonics means these are some commands. Okay, this was the assembly language. I'll just write a shortcut here. Okay, then we have our third category, that is our third level, that is our high level languages. So what we are talking about, the Python is the category. Now when we talk about these two particular languages, this was too difficult to understand by the human beings or the programmers. Probably even though if you are understanding it, it's very difficult to do coding in this, because you have to play with numbers, right? You have to write numbers. If anything you want to write, anything you want to code, you have to write that through numbers. So it is very difficult for a person to remember the numbers as they are the commands. Then came our assembly language. So assembly language, instead of writing numbers, it was a bit easier. So I may write the commands like load, or I may write the commands like say like add, transfer, or whatever. So these were some of the commands which were related to your assembly language. Okay, but this language also failed because of its what I can say uneasiness, and that's why we are having some of the category called as high level languages. Now high level languages, it's not that only Python is there. We have C, we have C++, we have Java, we have uh, Ruby, we have R programming, we have what I can say Julia. Lot many languages are there, and Python is also one of it. So there are lot many languages which are high level languages. Now why do we call this as a high level languages? Because these languages are simply written using your English language. That's the irony of this particular thing. That's why this thing is called as high level languages. Now probably there are some sort of what I can say scenarios, or there are some sort of myths related to C, that it's called as middle level language. The reason why C is called as middle level language is that it talks to the hardware, that is our machine language, as well as it's talk to the user. That's why it is called as a middle level language. So probably that is not our concern of discussion right now, but as of now you just understand that Python is a high level language. Okay, so when I say high level language, it is far easier than what we had earlier, our machine language and our what assembly language. Okay, this is how we talk about what is Python. Okay, I'll not discuss much about this because see, it is illogical to discuss the things, what is that and how it evolved, and lot many things are there. So I'll not talk much on this, but try to understand it's a high level language. Okay, high level programming language in which you can create your applications. Okay, now let me tell you one thing, like if you know Python, there are lot many job opportunities as far as Python is concerned. It's not just a programming language. Let me tell you, if you know Python, you might become a data scientist, you might become a data engineer, you might become a business analyst. Lot many terms are there as far as today's data science and AI trend is going on. So it's not that only you code simple things, or say like you can code only few things, or say like you can just run with a small programs what you have learned in your school days, but it is far more than what we can do with Python. Okay, that's how Python is a high level programming language and what Python is. Now let us understand how it was evolved. Okay, and who is the inventor of this particular Python language. Okay, so this is just nothing to do with our what I can say, understanding the programming, but it is just a sort of history. Okay, so let me tell you, Python was developed or it was invented in 1991 by a person known as Guido. If I'm not wrong with the spelling, I'm just writing the spelling. The name was Guido van Rossum. So this fellow, he invented Python at somewhere in some of the lab like CWI, which is in Netherlands. Okay, probably this was the implementation which happened in 1991, and here probably 1.0 version was released, and it has some of the features like Lambda. Now I will not write the features because I am assuming that you people are new to this, but it has lot many features itself in the first version like Lambda, map, filter, and reduce. Lot many things were there. Then Python 2 came, which added new features like comprehensions, garbage collection systems. Then in 2008, Python 3 came. And now, if you observe, let me tell you what is the version of Python. Let me show you what is the version of Python here. So, probably if we talk about the Python, I think it is more than 12 today. Okay, so here it is 3.12. Can you see this? It is 3.12. Okay, so this is how the Python was there. And probably the Python language, it is influenced from two important languages which were there, and these were the EBC language and the Modula 3 language. Now, why the name has given Python? Because see, this scientist people, they are very what I can say, uh, they have something, some sort of incident in their life by which they take the inspiration and they just give the name. So there was one serial like the name of the serial was Monty's Python Flying Circus. So this fellow, the Guido Rossum, he used to watch this serial with his children, with his kids. So he was very admirer of this particular serial, and it happened to know that when he developed the language, he was totally impressed by the way the comedy circus this serial was going on, and that's why initially he named the language as Monty Python's Flying Circus. Monty Python Flying Circus. But probably later on, due to the what I can say, it was a very long cut to use this particular word. That's why it was short. It was having a shorthand like Python. That's why it is called as Python. Okay. So that is how the thing is that Python is being used. Okay. Now let us move to the next part. What are the features of this Python? Okay, so when I say feature, it means that probably we are talking about the things why we are going to use this language, isn't it? So if I say features means I'm talking about the things why to use this language, why, what is that, what are the parameters that I should use this language. That is what we are going to discuss. Okay, and then we'll move to how to go to that particular editor and how to install that and that many things. Okay, so let us understand first about the features. Okay, so what features are there? Now the very important feature is that it is easy. Okay, now it it should be a feature because let me tell you, if you talk about the other languages comparatively, if I talk about Java, okay, now in Java, suppose you want to print something. So what I need to do, I need to write this class, I need to write some class, okay, then I need to write the curly braces. People, those who know Java, they might be understanding this. People, those who don't know Java, they might not be understanding this. But anyway, if even if you're not understanding, just see what I'm doing here. I'm just printing a small letter, or I'm just printing a small string which says welcome to Python. So if I want to do this in Java, I have to write this in this way, what I'm writing here. So there is something called as public static void main. This is a method. Okay, public static void main, public static void main. So here I forgot to write static void main, and it has some parameters. Okay, in C programming also the same story is there, but with different things. Like you have to write main only. Without main, you will not be able to write uh, the program in C language and in Python language. But that is not the case with Python. I'll show you the difference. Okay. So here you have to write system dot out dot print, and here I have to write in double inverted comma welcome to Python. Okay, this is the way for writing, and I have to end this with comment. So if I want to write a simple sentence welcome to Python, I have to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. Now let me tell you how you are going to do with the Python. Okay. Now before that, let me also tell you how you are going to install this Python. Okay. So here you have to go to this particular web portal wherein this is the website of Python, and as it is a free source, free and open source, we'll be understanding in future also, that's why it is available at free of cost. Then you have to go to this particular version and you are going to install this for whatever operating system you want. Okay, so here you might install it, and here see, let me tell you, as far as your interviews are concerned, if I talk about your interviews, now you are a very you're just learning it for the basic level, but if you go for the advanced level, there would be some questions related to the versions, and that's why if I go to every new version of Python, you can see here it shares some sort of information which talks about the new features. Because let me tell you, Python is the one language wherein the previous version and the post version, they are not compatible with each other. What I have used in Python 3, it is not that I will be using same in Python 4, or what I have used in Python 11, it is not same, uh, but obviously for not all the concepts, but for few concepts it's not same for Python 12. And same if we are having Python 13 in coming years or coming days, it would not be same. So they give us some features initially, so here you can see these are the features, so you can learn these features. So interviews may, apart from asking you the questions based on your, what I can say, you know the syntax and you know the semantics of the language, they also ask such type of question like what were the important features which were added into so and so version, what was the transformation of this particular language, I mean the major features which were added into some sort of what I can say versions. Okay, likewise, so these things you should be aware of. Okay, now how you're going to install this? So you're going to go for the downloads. Downloads may, here you can see you can download. Now see, I was talking about 12, now we have got this latest version for Windows, that is 3.13 also. Okay, can you see this 13? And now they're working on 14 also probably. So there are some Docker images and pre-release, that is not a part of discussion, but whatever is below 13 it will work. It's not that you have to use the latest version only, but as far as the data science and machine learning and some convolution neural network applications are concerned, this particular trend is for this particular application. So as you go for the advanced things, you have to know what are the latest versions. I hope I'm clear about this. Okay, so here you have to download this. Now once you download, you will get one exe file. Okay, suppose I'm downloading this on my desktop. Okay, so I get this exe file, and what I need to do here is I need to just click on this exe file probably. Okay, so when I click on this exe file, it will ask me where I'm supposed to store the Python. So it will just, you have to just click next, 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 next. That it's not that much difficult. Okay, once you click on this, probably let me show you. If I go to desktop, I have this language here, probably my setup file. So just now I have downloaded here. So where it is, where it is. Yeah, here it is. So if I'm supposed to click on this. So once I click on this, here you can see Windows. So it's asking me where I'm supposed to download. Okay, now as I have downloaded it already and installed it, so I will not do this installation. But today's small task for you people is that you are supposed to download 3.12, not 3.13. There only you can go for 3.12. Directly you put on Google download 3.12 Python for Windows operating system, so it will give you. Okay, and one thing you want to do here is you're supposed to click this button, add python.exe to path. Now what is this exe? Let me tell you, when you install your Python, okay, Python folders you will get here somewhere in the C drive. Okay, I mean wherever you have chosen C drive, may you get the program files may, here you get Python. Okay, so I might have installed this somewhere here. Okay, so C programming, program files, and here you'll get the Python. I'm not able to press it, but there is some let me directly go through the IDE so that Python, how to open this? You have to type Python IDE. Here it is Python IDE. Okay, So this is the open file location. If I go to open file location, I can see here. Okay, so this is loaded somewhere here. Now your operating system, it requires to search where your compilers and other tools are there. Because of that, you're supposed to give the path also. Okay, that's how you're giving path. So if you're not giving path, personally or say like manually, you're going to set the path. But it's good to give that path at initial phase only. So directly it will go to environment variable and it will give this path particularly, so that wherever you're writing the program, it will use your tools from that particular folder. So this is my location. Okay, now if I want to open this, how would I open this? I have to go to Python, and here you can see IDE 3.14 3.12 for 64-bit. I have to open this. Once I open, I get this. So here you can see this is version 3.12 on 0. Okay, now if I want to create a new file, just go here and create a new file. Okay, and just try to save this file. Okay, so save this file, like on desktop I'm saving this file like sample.py. If you're not giving .py also, it's okay, because ultimately there is it is a Python. Okay, so it will create a Python files only. Okay, and now this is the file where you're going to write. Now how you're writing a command? You're writing the command in this manner. Okay, our first program in Python for the day. Okay, so let me write a small program here. So what I'm writing here, print, and inside the bracket I'm writing welcome to Python. Okay, welcome to Python. Now when I execute this, probably I get this particular message, welcome to Python. This is our console. Okay, this is our console. Okay, now let me tell you one thing. This thing why I'm writing, because the main task of the programmer is that whenever you are writing your code, you are supposed to write the explanation also. I mean the meaning of that code. So you need to write this comment. So if I'm using hash, you're going to write this in this hash, because this will be skipped by the compiler for compilation, and directly it will go to the next statement. That's why I'm getting the string as welcome to Python. Now if you compare this with this particular program, can you see this? So many things are there. Okay, if I want to run this, I have to save this with .java, then I have to compile it, and then I have to execute it. Java compilation and execution, both you have to do. But as of Python, you have not done anything. You have just written print. So there is no main, there is nothing. This is how it's easy. I hope everyone has understood the first functionality, why it is called as the easy language, or easy to learn and use. Okay, easy to learn and use. It's easy to learn and use. It's easy to learn and use, probably. Okay, so that's our first feature. Now let us move to the second feature. So it is a general purpose language. Now what do you mean by general purpose language? Okay, let me tell you, there are several things what we do with the programming languages. Like if I have C, tally application, it's created using C. Your word editors, that are created using C program. Your Instagram is created using C++. Your Facebook is created using PHP. Okay, lot many applications are there. I did not to talk on that, but try to understand. If I talk about this particular language, there are several applications what we do. We create a standalone application. I hope everyone know what do you mean by standalone application. Standalone application means what? Which are not connected to internet. We create web applications. Okay, we create data science applications. Okay, now this data science application, it is one thing which is added into our, what I can say, Python. Earlier any language, it didn't supported data science, but try to understand, Python is the only language which supports the data science and AI applications, whether it is natural language processor, whether it is convolutional neural network, whether it is machine learning, so on and so forth. So this language is used to support this many parameters, and that's why it is called as general purpose language. Okay, so I can create standalone applications, I can create web applications, websites or web applications, as well as I can create the data science and AI and NLP applications. That's why it is called as a general purpose language. I hope everyone is understanding this. I hope everyone is understanding this. Okay. Now let us move to the next feature. Very quickly, let me talk about the features. So here, the third important feature is that this language is a expressive language. Now, what do you mean by expressive language? I can just tell you that probably when I talk about the languages, languages are not expressive. So expressive languages means what? I can perform the few line of code problem solving. So Python can perform complex tasks using few line of code, few line of code. So you see, compare this 5 line of code into 1 line of code, what I've written here. So one line may I'm getting the output. And on the contrary, if I go to Java, here you can see I require this many lines. This is how it is expressive. So it will just take 1 line to execute, while your C programming, your Java, it will take multiple lines. That's how it is expressive. With easy, it expressive also. Okay. Now let us move to the next parameter or next feature. So if I talk about the Python language, it is interpreted. What do you mean by interpreted now? Let me tell you. We have discussed several things now. We have discussed about the machine uh, language. Okay, machine language in the sense this is the hardware language. Hardware language in the sense it talks with 0 and 1. Okay, then we have discussed about the assembly language. Assembly language, it talks with the pseudocode. Then we have discussed about the high level language. This is actually generation of languages. Okay, high level languages. So if I talk about all these languages, we require some sort of converter. Why do we require some sort of converter? Because I am writing something in, say, like dot java or say like dot py, but it has to be converted into the hardware code or the machine code. This conversion who will do? So this is the task of two things, or this is done using two things. One is the compiler, another one is the and interpreter. Okay, now you might be wondering that why do we require these two things? Interpreter. Okay, interpreter, why do we require these two things? Try to understand. Compiler and interpreter, there are differences. Compiler, what it will do, it will take all the lines at once and convert all the lines at once. Okay, at once. Okay, and convert. On the contrary, when I talk about the interpreter, interpreter compiles line by line or it executes line by line. That's how Python is interpreted language. So interpreter, what it does, it compiles line by line, line by line. Okay, line by line. So when I talk about the interpreted language, Python is an interpreted language. It means that Python program is executed one line at a time. What's the advantage of this? It makes debugging and portability of our language easy. That's why we should prefer the languages which are interpreted. Then you might be saying that, sir, why Java is not interpreted? Java is also interpreted, but you require to compile first and then you require to interpret here. But here automatically it is compiled first. But I mean, here you need not to compile anything as far as Python is concerned. Directly you are supposed to interpret. That's how it's interpreted language. I hope everyone has understood this. Okay. If you have any sort of doubts up till now, can I see the chat box? Okay, so if you have any doubts, please see that you are putting your comments in the chat box. I hope you are able to understand these things. If you have any questions up till now, I'm taking a pause 1 minute. If you are having any questions, you can just put the questions in the comments. Fine. Okay, let's move to the next feature. I hope you have understood this particular feature, interpreted. Okay, now this was not there in PPT, that's why I'm typing here probably. Okay, next is about the cross platform language. Now what do you mean by this cross platform language? Okay, so when I talk about this cross platform language, it means that you can execute your Python programs on different operating system. Okay, you can execute on different operating system, like you can execute this on Windows. At the same time you can execute this on Linux. At the same time you can execute this on Mac. etc. But that is not the case with your C programming. C program is platform dependent. Platform dependent means what? It has to be executed on one machine itself where it was developed. मैंने प्रोग्राम लिखा है विंडोज में and I am executing that in my Linux, it will not allow. Try to understand. It will not allow you to do that. That's how Python is. Python is cross-platform. See, these are all your interview questions. Definitely, the interviewer, if you're going for job, is going to ask you something about the features of uh, what I can say, this particular language, Python, what you're learning. Okay, now let us move to the next. So it is free and open source, like your Netflix, isn't it? Nothing is free in this world. Now, see, let me tell you what do you mean by this free and open source. So it is applicable that if you're using something, there should be some sort of collaboration. Now, why do we have collaboration? See, if your friend is telling you something that you're doing so and so mistakes, you should take that in positive way. That improves yourself. I mean, whatever mistakes you're doing, your friend is pointing out. Instead of criticizing that, you should take that in positive way. Same is the case with the languages. Whatever mistakes are there in the previous versions, anyone can contribute for it. That's why it is called as free. So anyone can download and its source code. You can use the source code without paying a single penny. That is not the case with your .NET. Try to understand. .NET, if I am using, it is a closed environment. It's not open source. Why it's a closed environment? Because they will charge you if you want to use something, they will charge you first. Second thing is the source code is not available for you. Okay, that's why whatever operating systems we are using nowadays, if I talk about Windows closed environment, it is getting more and more improved. But on the contrary, if I talk about our Linux, it is getting improved in open environment. To see the difference, which operating system is famous? Try to understand. Windows is not a famous operating system. I'm not marketing anything here, but try to see that what science and data science and AI applications are there, what servers are there, what cloud computing applications are there. These are more executed on your Linux based environment rather than getting executed on your Windows. The reason is Windows is a closed source and your Linux is the open source. So as your Python, and that's why we started from Python 1 and now we are going to third phase of Python 14 very soon. That's how it went through different phases, and that's how today you can see this Python code in some of the latest applications of AI. Okay, so predict something. If I want to predict cancer detection, if I want to detect that a person is having a cancer or not, saying the symptoms, I can detect that very easily. If I want to understand what's the temperature, if I want to understand what's the temperature of the environment, lot many things are there. This is because of Python, open source. Okay, that's how we talk about the Python community. So anyone can contribute to this Python community and you can work dedicatedly towards making new modules and functions of this Python. That's how it is free and open source. Now let us move to the next particular, what I can say, feature. Now lot many features are, I'll just collect few features because uh, going through all the features in a 1.5 hour session, it's very difficult, but I'm just telling you the significant one. Okay, so object oriented. Now what is this object oriented? Object oriented feature. Okay, so this is object oriented programming, or I'll just write object oriented language, not object oriented programming, it is object oriented language. Now let me tell you, when we talk about our C programming and when we talk about our Java, there is a difference. Okay, when I talk about C, it's not object oriented. Okay, it's not object oriented. But on the contrary, when I talk about C++, it is a semi object oriented programming language. Semi object oriented language means it is between the non and the which is one object oriented programming. And when talk about Java, Java still the dilemma Hello. Yeah, sorry. I think I was disconnected. Sorry for that. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let me start once again. Okay. Yeah, so I was just talking about this particular feature, object oriented. Let me repeat once again. So, when I talk about object oriented language, these two programming languages, which are called as pretty brothers of each other, they are not same. Actually, C++ is a semi object oriented programming where it has few features which are there to be a, to to be a language to a object oriented programming language. But when I talk about Java and Python, these are the object oriented programming language. Now, what is object oriented programming language? Wherein you can decompose the code into the real world problem. My problem is I want to create a account class. My problem is I want to create a student class. So probably I want to create if this particular account and student, I need not to write a lengthy code. What I can do is I can distribute my features in this particular thing. That's how we talk about. Hello. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, my screen was not shared. Screen was not shared. Mm, anyway, yeah, let me just repeat once again. I hope it's visible now. Okay, so we were talking about this particular object oriented programming. So this particular thing, when I say I can decompose my code into the real world problem, that's why we're talking about this many features. Now there are a lot many features as far as to be a language to a object oriented program. I will not discuss that features now. Okay, so that is out of the scope of this lecture to discuss all the features. Okay, now let me write one last feature here. See, if I want to talk in numbers, I can say that there might be 15 or 20 features, but these are the foremost important and what I can say very significant features. What I'm telling you, extensible. Now, when I talk about extensible, simple thing like you can connect your Python to your other languages like C, C++, and Java. Simple. You can connect your language to C, C++, and Java. That's how it is called as extensible. So it implies that other languages, it could be Java, it can be compiled and code, and it can be further used in Python code. And that is what we are doing in some of the applications, because not all the applications will have their code in for machine learning and all. So I have to do the processing using Java. I have to extract the data in Java. From Java, I have to put that in Python and apply the machine learning concepts. That's how we talk about this extensibility. Then the last feature we'll discuss, that is it is having a very large library. Okay, very large library. So when I talk about a very large library, it means that it provide a very vast range of the libraries for n number of applications, whether it is machine learning, whether it is web developer, whether it is other scripting languages. So let me name few of the libraries. We are going to understand one of the library at the last day, okay, of our session. So pandas, we have NumPy, then we have Keras. These are all machine learning and say like CNN libraries which we use. Then we have the very important one, that is PyTorch, okay, etc. So this many languages are there as far as the Python library is concerned. Okay, so let me just go to now the next particular topic. Okay, this is what we have discussed up till now. Okay, so we have discussed about why Python. Okay, what are the applications of Python and how to install the Python, and then let us talk about the actual Python programming now. Okay, we have discussed about the features also. Now let us talk about the Python programming. Okay, so the foremost thing is how you are going to declare the variables in Python. Okay, so if I want to talk about the variables, what is a variable now? Okay, so variable is a thing which holds a value, and this value is changeable. So it is a basic component of any programming language. You're learning C, you're learning Java, you're learning whatever language, the first thing what you're going to learn is about the variable. Okay, so when I talk about the variable, what do you mean by this variable? It means that you are supposed to require some memory reference to hold your value. Okay, so here when I talk about a memory reference, it is nothing but a variable. Okay, it is a variable. Okay, so I can give the variable directly in this manner: a equal to 10, say like, or b equal to 20. These are my variables. Okay, so if I write this variable here, see now, if I'm writing my variable here, so probably I can write this variable in this manner: a comma b comma c equal to 10 comma 20 comma 2.0. So when I print them, so print a, and let me print b and c also, print b, print c. Okay, so when I execute this, probably I'm getting some sort of output here. Okay, output in the sense I'll get all these three values. Okay, so it is not that always I'm holding the integer values. Sometimes you might use the string values also. This is how I'm assigning the values. So here you can have one more, what I can say, that's how it is expressive. One more facility wherein you can separate the keywords with the comma, and you can write the values for that. You're getting? That's how we talk about this particular variables. Okay, now let us move to our first point for the second topic, that is, what are the variables and data types. Let us discuss about these variables and data types, then I'll come to the syntax and indentation. Okay, particularly syntax and indentation is nothing but the way you're writing the program. Okay, so I'll come to that later on, but first let me tell you what are the variables. Okay, so directly for this variable I'll show you some sort of ppt here. Okay, so this is nothing but the variables. Okay, so if I talk about data types here, okay, or the variable we have discussed, now we're talking about the variables. Now what is the difference between variable and a data type? Try to understand, variable is just a reference, memory reference, to hold any value. Data type means what? It is the type of the data what you're going to use. It can be integer. You know what is integer now? These are the numbers. It can be float, okay, which are the decimal values. It can be string, which in Python we might use string in two ways. Either you can use double inverted comma, or you can use single inverted comma. It can be boolean. It can give only two values like true or false. Okay, or it can be particularly what I can say, list. Now this list, tuple and dictionary, we are going to discuss this in detail. Okay, so I will not tell you about the string and the particular means I'm not going to tell you more about the dictionary here. Dictionary will discuss in the next topic when we'll discuss the function and that day two topic. But today we'll try for all of these data types. Okay, so we have integer, we have float, we have string, we have boolean, we have list, we have tuple, and dictionary we are going to see afterwards. Okay, so these are some of the data types what are there in the Python. Now data type is having some sort of limit. Okay, it is having some sort of limit. Now limit in the sense, what do we mean by this limit? If I talk about integer, okay, suppose integer is, say like, it is of suppose 4 bytes. Okay, so when I talk about bytes, try to understand, bytes means it is having 32 bits. Okay, 32 bits. Okay, so 32 bits means what? If it is signed integer, so you can have the values 2 raised to 32. 2 raised to 32. That means you can have values more than, means you can store a mobile number also, probably 32 bits means it is related to a big number. Okay, so if it is unsigned value, for signed it can be 2 raised to 31. 2 raised to 31 means you can have that many values. Suppose I'm talking about 2 raised to 3. 2 raised to 3 means 8. So you can have the values from 1 to 8. Likewise, I hope you're understanding this. Okay, likewise, every data type is having some range. Okay, every data type is having some sort of range. Okay, that is for sure, like you people will be aware of this when you will go through the usage of this. Okay, particularly. Okay, now let me talk about how you're going to print the data type of this language. Okay, now let me declare some particular data type here. So a equal to 10, particularly b equal to, say like, I'm using something like hi Python. Okay, then I'm using c equal to some value like 10.5. Okay, now if I want to print the type of this. So I need to just write type of A. So simple it is. Okay. So I need to just write type of A. I need to write type of B. Okay, it will give me the type. What is the type? So here I will get the answer in class, because as we have discussed, Python is object oriented. Okay, so object oriented means you will get the output in terms of class and objects. So when I run this, so here you can see I am getting the output. So this is class integer. This is class string. This is class float. This is what is your data type. So variable and data type, what is the difference? Data type means what? You are using a particular value which the variable can hold. So this Python, it is a very what I can say, it is composed powerfully in such a way that you need not to characterize what type of data you're using. Directly you can store it. Okay, it is a loosely type check languages. It's not like C programming. C programming if you're writing this thing, the compiler will give you left and right, because C programming you have to define the term also what you're mentioning. You have to write integer a equal to 10, you have to write string b equal to something, you have to write float c equal to something. What data type you are discussing here? That's why we are discussing this data type. So if you're learning Python and then going to C, it will be very difficult for us to understand C programming, because C programming you need to write this keyword. In Java you need to write this keyword, but Python you need not to write any keyword. So these are the different data types of your Python. Okay, let us understand about the boolean. Okay, so here if I talk about boolean, d equal to, how do I write boolean now? So if you want to write boolean, probably either you are writing true or you are writing false. Okay, so how do you write true or false? There is one particular concept here. So true. Okay, so now if I'm typing the type of this d, okay, so see, it's not capital true. If I write capital true, okay, it will not turn into orange. So whatever orange letters are there, these are the stored keyword. Try to understand, these are the stored keyword. You should know these things. These are the stored keywords. Okay, so here you can see we have this particular as boolean, class as boolean. Okay, so these are our different data types. Okay, now let us move to the next data type what we have written here. After boolean we have the list. Okay, now how do you create a list and what is a list? Try to understand. When I talk about a list, it is a data structure. Now see, there are interchangeably some words which we use with our programming languages. Try to understand. So when I say list, Python mein lists are nothing but just collection of some variables or data of different types. Okay, so how do I create a list? Okay, so let me write how do I create a list. So how do you create a list? You have to just write the variable name. So this is what my variable list1 equal to you need to write the square bracket, and here you need to write this everything with the comma segregation. Hi, this is my string. First is my number, second is my float. Okay, and third is my, for example, one more string, something like Python. Okay, and then this is what is my list. So if I want to type what is the type of this, so print type of list 1. So when I execute this particularly, you will get an error here. See, what is the error? Okay, so here the error is that whatever parentheses are there, I have to close the same parenthesis. This is how you will get the error in Python. Okay, you can see if I purposely make a mistake and if I run this particularly, you will get the error in this manner. So it will tell you something. You have to read the errors. Try to understand. Now some errors are very difficult that you don't understand. Directly put that in Google or ChatGPT. There will be some solutions for it. Okay, but for the sake of this time, it's very easy for me to understand what is the error. So here I'm just missing my square bracket. Okay, and now I can print this. So what I will get here is I will get the list. The data type is what? List. Okay, now there are some concepts of slicing and there are some concept of other things which are there in list. Okay, we'll discuss that. So if I want to print the whole list. How do I print the list? I have to just write only print list. Okay, so what it will do, it will print the list. It will print the list. Okay, if I talk about the other function like print, if I'm printing something from 0 to 2, what would happen? This is called as slicing. Okay, list 1, and here I'm giving some range 0 to 2. What shall be the answer for this? You can comment the answer if you know. Okay, you can comment the answer if you know. If you can comment the answer if you know, I'm repeating. Okay, but anyway, I'll just show you how you are going to get the output for this. After that, if you want to print something in this manner, like if I want to just print list 1 of, say, like 3 colon. Okay, I'll show you first what the output will be for this 2 things. Okay, I mean this 3 things. Okay, so this will print the list. What it will do, what it will do, if you know, you can comment. By the time I'm executing this, can you see here? Welcome to Python. Here you're getting some sort of list values. What is this now? Can you see the output? Purposely I'm showing you both the things. This is your full list. If I'm talking about 0 to 2, that means I'm printing from 0, 1, and it will end before 2. So slicing may, it will not take the last index. This is called as indexing. This is called as indices, sorry, or index. So it will hold the element as per as starting from 0. So how many elements I have? This is 0, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So it will end before 3. It will end before 3. Try to understand. Okay. Now if I'm writing this, what? 3 colon. So what I'm getting here? 0, 1, 2, 3. Third element. Okay. This is how we talk about the list here. Okay. Now you have certain other applications, like if instead of this, if I'm writing, say, like in this manner, print list 1 of, say, like I'm using asterisk. So we'll be learning this in our operators. Okay, so if I'm printing this in this manner, what we are doing is we are repeating this list thrice. Okay, you can repeat this list thrice. This is how we talk about the list. Okay, I hope you have understood this list. Now let us move to the next data type what we are going to learn. Okay, so what is the next data type? That is tuple. Okay, so what is tuple now? So tuple, it is one data type which is used to create again particularly different ways or different data which you can store as per as the data structure is concerned. Okay, interchangeable, I am talking about data structure. At the last lecture you will come to know what do you mean by data structure, last day probably. Okay, so what is a tuple? So it is just like list. So you can have different collection of items of various data types, but instead of having a parenthesis, what you have here is or instead of having a square bracket, what you have here is the parenthesis, square bracket. Instead of having the square bracket, what you have is the parenthesis to create a list. Okay, but what is the difference between this list and the tuple? That it is just a read only sort of data. Read only means what? You will not be able to alter the size of or the value of the items, whereas in list you can add, you can change the size of the tuple. I'll show you how it is read only. Okay, but let me show you how you can create the tuple. Tuple equal to which bracket you are going to use? You are going to use the parenthesis bracket. So hi, what you're going to use now, second string, for example Python, then I have some numbers, they're like 2. Okay, now if I am checking the data type of this, so print type of what? Tuple, what I will get now? Can you see here? Can you see here? Class tuple. This is the class tuple what I got. Okay, that's how we talk about the tuple. Now let me tell you the same thing what we have done for our list. Okay, that is called as slicing. Okay, so slicing also it works in the same manner. I'll show you for one. So you can tell me the output if you know in the comment. So type, okay, if I'm writing this in this manner, 1 : what will be the output? Okay, this is called as tuple slicing. Okay, so when I execute this, you can see here what I'm getting. What I'm getting now? I'm getting only, yeah, I have used the type to show that how the operation works. So what is this operation? It is slice. So Python may you can understand what you're working on. Okay, now let me actually work on this. So I'm slicing this. So how I'm slicing now? Directly I will slice this with the name of the variable. So I'm using here tuple, and what I'm using is 1 : so if I'm using this 1 : what answer I'm getting? You're understanding? 1 means 0, 1, 2. It will go till the last element. It will go till the last element. Same way we can do the things what we have done with our what I can say list. I can multiply this twice. What would happen now for this? Probably it will print this twice. Okay, now let me tell you, if I want to add something to this. So for example, if I want to add at third position, so I'm having 0, 1 and 2. So if I want to add at third position something, okay, say like I'm adding hi one more time. So if I'm doing this, what is happening now? See, what will happen now? It will just give me a error. Okay, what error is there? It is showing, it is saying that you are not able to add anything to the tuple, because tuple is a read only data type. It is a read only data type. So this, sorry, t is not, so that is a different error. Huh? T is not defined actually. It is tuple. I should write tuple. So when I write this, can you see here? Does not support the item assignment. Does not support the item assignment. On the contrary, if you do this for the list, very easily you will be able to add this. Now very easily, if I'm converting this into, say like, instead of tuple to the list, so this is my list, right? So if I want to delete this, and now if I want to have this particular thing, 0, 1, 2 and 3, so third position I'm adding as high. Okay, so you can see here there is no error. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so probably here you are adding something which is there as far as the tuple is concerned. Okay, that's how this is a difference between your tuple and the list. Okay, let me convert back to uh, the tuple here. So if I execute this, I'll get that error probably. So this is how we talk about the tuple, how we are going to create the tuple. Okay, so you have to use a curly braces as far as the tuple is concerned. Okay, now we are going to understand this when we'll discuss again more as far as the next sessions are concerned. But try to understand this is how you create the tuple. Now let us move to the next data type. Dictionary we'll see discuss afterwards, but let me tell you in a small way that how you are going to create a dictionary. Okay, so probably dictionary means what? You're just having a key value sort of data type. Okay, so if I'm talking about a dictionary, D, but here which brackets you're going to use? Okay, you're going to use the curly brackets. So dictionary, this should be in comment. Dictionary D equal to, I am writing some names. Roll number 1, suppose this name is related to John. Okay, comma separator. 2 is related to, say like, Alex. Okay, and then you can end this curly braces. Now if you want to print, you can print this using your print function. So what it will give you? It will give you the data for D. Can you see D? Okay. Now, if you want to print something like the first name, how do I print the first name? D of 1. So when I write D of 1, what would happen? I would get my first name, that is John. Okay. Now there are two ways of doing this, like print, and then you can write D dot keys. So how do you print keys now? Now you can see what do you mean by keys. Okay. I hope everyone is there. If you have any doubt up till now, you can just ask in the comment. Okay. So here you can see keys. I'm printing in this manner. And how do I print the values? So this is how it is a key value sort of data type. D dot values. Okay. So these are values probably. And let me print them. So when I run this, probably I will get all the keys and the values. So here you can see these are the keys 1, 2, and these are my values. So likewise, you have several functions of dictionary. We'll discuss as and when we are going to go with this particular in the functions. Okay, so these are how we talk about the data types. Try to understand. Okay, now there are several challenges like find out the data type and the length of the following variable. So I'm just giving you 1 minute. If you are there at your screen, you can, or by guessing also, you can comment the answer. I'm waiting for 1 minute. Then we'll move to the next. What is the next thing now? Let me tell you. After the variables and data type, the basic operations. Let us move to the basic operation after this. Okay. Just do this challenge. So you're going to identify the data types and the length if applicable. Length is not applicable for all the things here, but let us see how many people can answer for this. Okay, fine. So I'm expecting few answers. Okay, fine. So this is the challenge number 2. You can do this afterwards. I will be posting this data. So this is very easy one. So that is not that much difficult. You're going to identify the correct variable names. Try to understand, you will not be able to have any spaces when you're giving variables. This is the valid one. You can have underscores. Okay, you should not have this dash sign or minus sign. Okay, you cannot have these special symbols. You cannot have numbers for the variables. You cannot start the variables with the numbers. Okay, you might have this, but it is a less used thing. You cannot have any special things. Okay, if you want to have this, you can have. So there are some valid variables out of this you have to identify. Now let us talk about the operators. Now what do you mean by operators? Try to understand, when we talk about the operators, these operators are some sort of operations inside our Python program. So any programming language you talk about, you do some sort of operations using these operators. Sorry. So what operators you have? You have the assignment operators, you have the arithmetic operators, you have the logical operators, and you have the relational operators. So let us talk about the assignment operators. So these are called as the assignment operators. Assignment operator means what? You are assigning the values. So the assignment is from RHS to LHS. It is from RHS to LHS. So here if I'm talking about this, what it means, you are assigning a value of 12. What about this? A plus equal to 13. It means that you are adding the value 13 inside A. So it is nothing but A equal to A plus 13. Okay. If I talk about this, it is just a variable. It will print a value. If I talk about this, it is nothing but A is equal to A minus 24. So it is giving me some answer. So when I write this, you will get some answer here. Let me tell you how the assignment operator works. I'll not tell you much about this assignment operator because that is very simple to understand. Okay. Let me take you to the IDA. Where is my IDA? I think I have closed it. Okay. Okay. I'll open the IDA. Python IDE. Yeah, let me open it. Yeah, I've closed it. Sample one. Yeah, let me copy this so that this file you can get today what things we have learned. Okay. Now let me talk about the assignment. So if I'm talking about the assignment operator, okay, assignment operator. So what is an assignment operator? It is a equal to operator. So if I'm talking about a equal to 10, so it means that I'm having the answer of a. Okay, I'm having the answer of a, that is 10. Okay, so if I print this, I'm getting 10. Okay, I'm not printing this. Sorry, I have to write this as if I'm writing it on a console. Print a. Okay, then if I talk about a is equal to, what is the next operator? If you remember, a plus equal to 13. A plus equal to 13. A plus equal to 13. And then again I'm printing this. What shall be the answer? Okay, so it's very easy to understand. So if I execute this, you can see that you're getting 10 and 23. First value what I'm getting is 10, and then I'm adding 23 into it. I'm adding 13 into it. So a equal to a plus 13. That's how we talk about the assignment operator. I did not to spend much time on this because it is one of the easiest thing to understand. Now let us talk about the logical operator. So try to understand, in Python 0 is considered as a boolean, false in integer. Okay, and 0.0 it is in boolean, and if you get an empty string, it is false for string. Try to understand, if I talk about Python, it is different than other programming languages. Okay, C programming may and Java may you do not have these things, but try to understand Python may we have these things. Okay, so if I talk about a equal to 12 and b equal to false, and if I'm typing a and b, that means I am having this operator here and. Now try to understand, logical operator and means what? Both the conditions should be true for a conclusion for true. So if I'm having one statement as true, second statement as true, it will be true, otherwise it will be false. Any one statement false, it will be false. Both are false, it will be false. On the contrary, for or, anyone is true, it will be true. Anyone is true, it will be true. Okay, and for your not may, what is the parameter here is, if it is true, it will be false, and if it is false, it will be true. That is how we talk about this particular statement. Okay, now let us do this particularly. So here if I talk about this is your assignment operator. I need not to give this because already I'll be sharing this slides with you. So let us talk about the logical operators. Okay, so when I talk about the logical operators, if I'm having the value as a equal to 10, for example, and say like b equal to false, see f is capital for a value to be boolean, and then if I'm printing something like this, print a and, how I'm writing and, c, and should be written in small orange letters are keywords here, try to understand. Okay, and the purple are the functions. Purple are the functions, are the people and the components, those are not getting any color, that are the actual normal variables. Okay, so a and b. So if I'm doing this particularly, what I'm getting the answer, see, I'm getting false. Okay, so to, for true or false, this is what the condition is. Okay, both should be true for true, but that is not the case with or may, what you can do here is, if any one is true, it will be true, or. Okay, see the difference now. If I'm having this, what I'm getting, 10. Okay, am I getting 10? Yes. Okay, now let me talk about some other variable. Okay, like I'm getting this value as 10. So if I'm having and, that means it is false, but if I'm having or, that means this is true. Okay, now if I talk about other things like print not a, see what is this now, print not a. So if I'm printing this, what I'm getting is false. Not a means false, 10 means it is true, and false means it is not true. Okay, so that's how we talk about this particular thing. Okay, now let us talk about some string variables. Let me remove this here. So if I have a equal to false, but this is the string false actually, and if I have b also equal to normal false, okay, like normal false in the sense it's a numeric false, okay, and now if I'm printing a or b, what would be the answer, a or b? So just check what I'm getting, false. So this is just a numeric, or say like a string oriented things to check how they are equal to the boolean values, okay. That's how we talk about this particular string here, okay. So that is the logical operator. Now let us move to the other parameter. Now this I will be giving you, you can try at home how you are going to work with the other logical operators. I mean, there are some other things are given which you can work with, okay. I need not to talk much on this because it is one and the same, okay. Probably there are few things which are given. Now let us move to the next part, that is the relational operator. Now what do you mean by relational operator? So if you talk about the relational operators here, you are just having some sort of comparisons, okay. So here if I'm assigning some values like a equal to 12, b equal to 13, a is less than b, a is less than b, true. A is less than or equal to b, true. A is greater than b, false. Likewise, simple. So I am comparing something, okay. So this is how we talk about the other things. This is the comparison. This is less than, this is less than, equal to, this is greater than or equal, greater than or equal to, this is not equal to. If I'm using double equal to, that means if I'm checking the contents, a equal to a means a is 10, 2 is 10, b is 10, so both are equal, okay. That's how we talk about this equal to operators. Now coming to this ASCII values, so we have certain ASCII values, uppercase the same what is there in C, of course. Capital letters, A is starting from 65, so we have 26 characters, so it's going till 90. At the same time, if I talk about the lowercase, it's from 97 to 122, digits 0 to 9, and special characters from 48 to 57. That's how we talk about the relational operator. So let me just write one small program here. So if I want to check whether this both the things are true, a equal to b, okay. So when I execute this, what output I get? False. They are not true, okay. So if I give numbers, say like 10, because one is string false, one is string boolean, and another one is the non-string boolean, 10. Now is it equal to? Yes, both are equal to, true. Now if I'm talking about the less than or greater to, okay, so this also will come equal to, a is less than or equal to. So you can check in this manner, not equal to. So if you want to check not equal to, you have to use this. So this will be false because they are equal to. They are not equal to. They are equal to. Okay. Likewise, you have certain things. Okay. Now let us move to the other thing. Okay. So particularly here, I have given some things for practice. Tomorrow, when you are coming attending the lecture, before that you should attend. You should solve these things. Okay, so that you are well versed with the parameters what we have discussed. Okay, so lot many types I've given here. So what would be the type error, what would be the other things, you can just understand that. Okay, now there is one concept like typecasting. Okay, this is very important, like we will be discussing this in the upcoming session. Today I will not discuss about the typecasting because it's not worth to discuss typecasting right now. Let us start directly with the control structures. Now before moving to control structures, let me tell you something about the indentation. Let me tell you something about the indentation. Our first point, I forgot to tell you about the indentation. What is indentation? Okay, so here when I talk about the indentation, try to understand. Indentation means the alignment of this parameter is nothing but the indentation. So some programming languages, whether it is a C programming language or whether it is a Java programming language, they have some sort of blocks. Okay, they have some sort of blocks. Now suppose if I am going for some Java program, okay, so Java programs, okay, let me just show you some Java programs. So here if I talk about the Java program, you can see if I observe this program, they have some sort of blocks. Okay, so let me show you the block here. Suppose if I'm talking about this particular program here, so this small program what we had for printing the statement. So here if you see, it has some certain blocks. Can you see this? Okay, so it uses this braces, and then the statement is starting, and then the another statement is starting, and then the next statement is starting, and then the ending statement is starting. These are nothing but the blocks. But the same thing what we are doing in Python is there for indentation. Okay, so indentation is for understanding the code in a greater manner in the sense you will be able to do justice with how you are writing the code. Otherwise, if you're writing the code and if you left the job, suppose in industry, and if someone is not understanding it, probably he or she might get mix up with all the statements, and that's why we require this indentation. That's why we require this indentation. Try to understand. That's why we require this indentation. Okay, so here this indentation is required for your what I can say, particularly when we work with our control structures. Now let us move to our control structures. Okay, so if you go to other programming language like C programming also, let me show you C program. Okay, C programming also, there also you have something like indentation. Okay, so here also if I talk about any program, say like if I'm talking about a normal program, mm, yeah, syntax, can you see this? Okay, so this is the directives, then we have integer main, then we have these braces. Why they were writing this? Because this is starting here, that means you have to write your code inside this, and then this is ending here. This is called as the building blocks of the program. Python may we do not have these braces. What we have is the indentation. What we have is the indentation, and that's what we're going to learn. That's what we're going to learn here. Okay, so let us talk about the if statement first. Okay, so let us discuss these. How many statements are there as per as the syllabus is concerned? We have this three statement: if, for, and while. Let us discuss this now. Okay, very quickly. Okay, so let me take you to this particular model here. Okay, let me tell you how the if statement works. Okay, programming language. So it's not related only to Python. So don't worry about any of the loop statements. Okay. Now see, this is what is the if statement. If you observe this, particularly this is what the if statement is. I should not go to any website. Yeah, this is the block, simple block. Okay. So if I talk about a if statement, this is what is simple block. If condition, then you're writing the braces, and then this block will execute if this condition is successful. Otherwise, this block will execute. So here, can you see these lines? Can you see these lines? These lines. So Python may you will not have these braces, but rather what you will have is this line. Okay, particularly this line. Please observe this. Python may you will not have any sort of braces, but you will have this line. But you'll have this line. Fine. So that is how we talk about this particular thing. Okay. So I hope you have observed this. Now let us move to our if statement for Python. How do we write the if statement in Python? Okay. So if statement, and there you have to start the if statement. Suppose I am having the value as a equal to 10. Okay, and if I want to check whether a is positive, how to check whether a number is positive or negative? You have to check whether that number is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, that means what it indicates, it's a positive number. See how I'm writing the statement. So if I want to write the if statement, I have to write the condition. This is my condition. Okay, and then I have to write a colon statement. Okay, after colon I have to just press enter. Once I press enter, it's not going to this start of the what I can say line. This is what the indentation is. Okay, directly it is coming inside this loop. Agar ye correct hai to what to be done? So I'm writing like print a is a positive number. A is a positive number. Okay, so I hope you have understood this particular thing. Okay, I hope you've understood this. So when I execute this particularly, I'm getting that it's a positive number. Okay, now there is a second category of if statement. Okay, what is the second category of if statement? So we have three categories. We have if statement, then we have what, if else statement, then we have multiple if else statement. Multiple if else statement. Okay, so if I talk about this three, this whole thing is related to your if block structure. It is called as the if block structure. It is called as the if block structure. Try to understand. It is called as the if block structure. Okay, so let me move to the next type of uh, statement. Okay, if else statement. So if I want to talk about the if else statement, now in this case it's not going for the else part. Where is my else part? This is my else part. So that is how we talk about the if else statement. So let me just move to the next statement, that is called as the if else statement. How do we run the if else statement? So this is how the if else statement will run. If the condition is true, it will execute the true condition, or else it will go to the false. You can see here. Okay, here you can see that if I talk about the if else part, any code you can understand here. So it's not that you have to go to some specialized thing. Here you can see this is how the indentation works. Okay, so this is else part. So this, if it is not executed, you have to go to the else part. You have to go to the else part. So that's what is written here. That's what it's written here. I'm not able to locate the image anyway, but I don't like this to make PPT of this particular thing, because it is one thing which cannot be understood using PPT. Okay, you have to understand this in this manner only. So this is what is the if else statement. Here you can see this is the if else statement. So if condition true condition, this execute, else execute this. So this is a C programming. So it is done in C programming. Now the same code will write in Python. How we are going to write in Python now? Okay, so here if it is the case, it is the positive number. Else I have to press enter, then I have to go for back, and then you have to write else. Else is also one keyword, and then again you're going to write when you are talking about the if else. Okay, if else may you're going to write the colon again. Okay, how you're going to write the colon here? So again the colon. So once you write the colon, when once you enter, again you're getting this particular indentation. So this is what is the indentation. So here I have to go and press enter. Once I press enter, I can again write that a is a negative number. A is a negative number. So for positive, it will give positive. Now if it is negative, you can see now it's also going for down. Can you see here? Let me close this. A is a negative number. That's how we talk about this if statement. That's how we talk about this if statement. Okay, so this is what is your if else statement. So we have done with the second category of the statement. Okay, now there is one more category, that is multiple if statement. Okay, so multiple if statement may, what you're going to do here is you're going to write the things in multiple ways. Multiple ways in the sense, if this is the condition, doing this, else doing this, else doing this, else do this. So you have multiple if else statement. So in the case, if when you have multiple if else statement, you are going for this particular else if code. So how to write a else if code? Let me show you how the else if code will look like. Okay. So again, I'll go this here. Let me close this. Hello. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,